Welcome back, everybody. We are now into Champion Select for game number one. We do have a little bit of a visual, yes, that is the missed ban actually for Mingos, as we did start late there. So they did have to forfeit that first ban. But as we move forward through the Champion Select here, Kaisa has been taken off the table by Global here, who will be, of course, on red side for game number one. Shaco removed by the side of Mingos. Looks like a little bit of an 80 carry focus by Global, actually. They want to try and target that Mingos AD carry, maybe feeling like Chandler Clark over there, the champion pool may not quite be where it needs to be. But, we'll see what he ends up on here as we continue to move forward. The Echo removed by the side of Mingos, taking that one away from a Mingos side, yeah. Echo taken away. Who are they banning that one away from here? Most likely the mid laner. Never saw. I don't see the Echo on the OPGG, but clearly feeling like that one was somewhat threatening here coming through, so wanted to remove that as an option. It will be the Shen locked away here, which is not at all surprising. Honestly, I am a bit surprised that Global didn't ban it out, although having the Lulu take precedence over that may be warranted, but that does mean here, folks, that the Shen is going to be going into the hands of TJ, oh yeah, it's TJ picking it away from Hub 5, actually. I do believe. So a takeaway pick here by the side of Mingos. It's going to be the Trundle Tom Kench lock-ins in response. Both of these champions can be somewhat flexible here. The Tom Kench, of course, we know now as more of a top laner rather than anything else. So although if the side of Global wants to throw a little bit of a curveball, I don't think we could necessarily completely rule out the possibility that it could be a Tom Kench support. It looks like it's Jarvan is going to be the hover here for Mingos, most likely the jungle pick. If this doesn't end up getting locked in, let's take a look at that Mingos jungler. See what our Jarvan stats look like. Snowy Peaks. I don't see the Jarvan here. The Jarvan did get buffed pretty recently, though, and the combo with the Vayne is definitely a real one. And, Jarvan throws up the Cataclysm, Vayne throws out the Condemn, and you've got somebody stunned up right where Jarvan wants him. So that could be looking pretty good here for the side of Mingos. Let's see what Global wants to respond with. Vayne also extremely good against champions like Trundle, like Tom Kench. They've got a little bit of tankiness on them. They're going to be building HP. And Vayne, of course, does have that true damage on the W to shred right through that. So the 80 carry response here looks like it's going to be the Ezreal for Kiri this game. Ezreal is his most play. He's got 124 games on the champion, only a 47% win rate, though. But he is going to be on comfort here for game number one. So we'll see how that bot lane looks. We could potentially, we probably do actually see the entire bot lane already locked in by the side of Global. Likely going to be either the Tom Kench or the Trundle joining the Ezreal down there in bot lane. Trundle Ezreal, I think, is actually a really good combination because of the interaction with the pillar. Where you throw up the pillar, you get the slow. It makes it very easy for the Ezreal to land those mystic shots and put out that DPS. As we move into the second phase of bans here, folks, we've got the Azir and the Rumble taken off the table so far. Seraphine also going to be removed by the side of Global. They do not think that Mingos has locked in their support yet. We want to try and target that pool a little bit here. Karma removed by the side of Mingos as well. So maybe a little bit fearful about the Karma mid lane coming through, perhaps, for Neversaw here. But we know he has just a myriad of choices at his disposal. So really could go for just about anything still. As we are on to the fourth pick here. R4 for Global. See what they decide to go for. It is a pretty threatening dive comp that's kind of being constructed already by the side of Mingos. You have the Jarvan to go in. You've got Vayne, who's a pretty short-range AD, who's able to follow up very effectively with the ultimate there. And, of course, the Shen as well. Just stand united, press R right on top of one of these divers, and just he could be exactly where he needs to be when those fights start breaking out, theoretically. So see if they want to, if the side of Mingos wants to continue to try and build towards that dive composition. But we are, I think I'm getting another little bit of a visual bug here. I don't actually see the R4 lock-in for globals, unfortunately. They have run out of time to lock in their R4 selection. We are on back to the Mingos now. It does just appear to be some kind of visual bug here. We're just not going to be able to know right now what that lock-in is. And actually, the visual bugs continue. We have both of the R4 and R5 lock-ins for Mingos here that are not actually visible for us here on stream side, unfortunately. But, you know, maybe once we do get into client, I have just gotten word from production. We have Soraka R4, presumably for the side of global. But we are still missing some info here. We are on to the last pick. Looks like that last pick has been locked in. Again, not really sure what that is right now. Most likely, they did save mid lane pick for last on the side of global is kind of my current hypothesis. Most likely either Tom Kench or Trundle that is going to be going up there into the top side. But we will just have to wait and see here, folks. A little bit of technical difficulties. Fantastic, yeah. So we're getting some bugs all around here, ladies and gentlemen. It's apparently bugged for the players actually as well. So yeah, just bear with us, and we will hopefully get this all sorted out relatively quickly here. So yeah, we are probably just going to go into another break here, guys, while we try and sort out these technical difficulties. Again, we did have a little bit of a dive composition being constructed by the side of Mingos. They have the Jarvan, the Shen, and the Vayne so far. And then, you know, on the side of globals, they had quite a lot of frontline already. They have the Tom Kench and the Trundle. But the only backline so far is an Ezreal, who, of course, is able to remain pretty safe on his own without the assistance of those beefy frontliners. So I'm very curious to see what globals rounded out the rest of that composition with, but we are just going to have to wait and see, guys. Okay, I'm just getting some word here. We are getting a new draft link, so we may be able to get some more information for you all very, very shortly here. We are, you know, still just kind of waiting to see here. Maybe I can hypothesize what those lock-ins might be. If we assume it's the mid lane and the jungle positions that's still both locked in, it could also be Trundle jungle. You know, that's an extremely distinct possibility as well. But you know, maybe the jungler Snowy Peaks, he could have gone for something like the Twitch. Would be a strong backline to supplement, you know, the Tom Kench Trundle frontline there. You know, he could also go for something like the Viego, the stereotypical 1v9 champion. We are back into a champion select here, ladies and gentlemen. Going back through the bans once again here. We're kind of just resetting. We're going to be going through everything from the top once again. So just repeating. These are the exact same bans that we did see before. Which is, of course, exactly what we want to see here. The Sivir just banned away because they needed to ban something to run out the clock faster, which is perfectly fine, I think. Must not have been the lock-in. I think we can assume that Sivir was not a lock-in for Glacial Global, considering that we did already see that Ezreal picked away. So, you know, just, again, running through those picks that we've already seen here. I do favor, if it is Tom Kench top lane into the Shen, I do believe that Tom Kench should be favored in the 1v1 there. Of course, Shen's forte is never the 1v1. It's a champion that really always wants to try and find those plays off in the side lane. So he is not really Probably going to be very concerned about that state of the 1v1 up there in top lane, as he's going to be trying to capitalize cross map. Hopefully punish the Ezreal down there on the bottom side, although of course Ezreal, as we all know, is a very difficult champion to punish in most cases, since he does have access to that arcane shift. But we are seeing some fresh information here. So that is going to be the Soraka that we heard rumors of previously. Locked away here for global. It's going to be an Ezreal Soraka lane. Extremely safe down there for the global bot side. See what Mingos responded with here. They do have the Alistar hovered, Alistar locked in. So committing to the all-in here for the Mingos bot lane. Alistar Vayne, an extremely aggressive look. It's one that is not going to get online very early. You're going to have to wait until level 6 before Vayne and Alistar really are able to go for that all-in. But once they do reach that threshold, that can certainly look very threatening, especially against something like a Soraka that does not really have a lot of innate defense. And the Annie is actually going to be the last lock-in for Mingos here. So it's going to be the Annie piloted by Mingos mid laner here, Swantek. Nick Swantek there in the mid lane. See if we can find any Annie stats for you all. No Annie stats available on op.gg. This is not a pick that he has brought out very often here, Mr. Swantek. So we're going to be very, very interested to see how he's able to perform on that one here tonight. And the Sylas for the last counter pick here for Global. I do love this last pick here for the side of Global. It is going to be the Sylas for Neversaw there in the mid lane. It is one of those picks that he does have some comfort on. He's got 35 games on it this season, sitting at about a 60% win rate. So very solid stats for Neversaw on the Sylas there. Looking pretty strong, and I do like the matchup into the Annie quite a bit. He is going to have a couple of other decent options as well. The Jarvan ultimate, I think, could be pretty effective when stolen away by the Sylas there. I believe it is AD scaling on that one, but still the utility of creating that terrain could potentially be very useful if Neversaw plays it well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he plays for that one. I am a little bit concerned for the side of Globals. They do have a lot of frontline. They don't have a lot of backline, so I'm not entirely sure how the composition is going to play out, but I definitely could see it being successful. We are, I think, going to be going to another short break. We just need to get through the in-client champ select. So we are going to be kind of cruising through this. I'll take a little bit more time here to talk about the compositions. Yeah, I mean, the Shen for top laner of Mingos here, I definitely think is key. It's a by far... Oh, it's the takeaway. Yes, it was actually the side of Globals that had the comfort with the Shen. So the Shen has been taken away from them, and they're gonna have most likely... My money is on the Tahm Kench into the Shen. So that, you know, that's the thing about one tricks, right? Is they're very good at their one champion. They also know exactly what counters their champion. So Hub 5, he should know what tools he needs to go into the game with in order to try and shut down this Shen on the other side of the rift. So definitely going to be interesting to watch that top lane matchup. We are most likely going to be having the Trundle in the jungle here, as we did have the Soraka locked in there for global. So it's going to be Ezreal, Soraka bot lane, Trundle in the jungle. Trundle going to be going up against the Jarvan. Both of these champions are pretty strong here in the early game. Trundle, of course, a renowned duelist with the ability to steal away that attack damage with his Q, with Chomp there. But Jarvan, quite strong as well. Once he does finish that first camp, he has access to the EQ combo, the amount of CC, and the amount of burst he can provide with his own passive, which was, of course, recently buffed. That martial cadence on the Jarvan. Going to be doing a little bit more damage with that first auto attack, a little bit more burst here coming through for Adamsuki in this one. So, you know, we'll see where both of these junglers want to prioritize their time here in the early game. A little bit of a jungler myself, so gonna have hopefully some insight into what both of these guys are looking for here in the first few minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I've touched on the mid lane matchup here a little bit already. Annie into
We
Silas
must
should be
all make
pretty
our
Silas
choices.
favored, especially once we do hit that level 6 mark. Annie, you know, kind of theoretically could have the advantage early, given the fact that she is ranged into a melee champion, but really, Annie is not able to apply a whole lot of kill pressure until she's able to complete that first item, until she has access to Tibbers with level 6 there. So I don't expect Dogmar to really be able to find a whole lot here in the early game. And we actually the rosters are a little bit different here than I anticipated. It's actually Dogmar in the mid lane here for Mingos, and Snowy Peaks is actually appears to be Snowy Peaks appears to be in the mid lane with Trundle. And Lost in Echoes appears to be the name of the jungler here for Global, and he appears to be taking Silas into the jungle. So, not really entirely sure if that is correct here, guys, but that is what I am seeing right now. So, should definitely be interesting. I mean, Jarvan is easily going to have the advantage here in the jungle matchup because Silas's first clear is pretty terrible actually. Um, but he could potentially be scaling pretty comfortably here, Lost in Echoes, if he is able to weather the storm of the early game. So we'll see how he's able to pilot that one. Is going to be very very interesting. Assuming, of course, that we are going to be seeing that Silas in the jungle. But we are just going to have to wait and see, guys. So please just wait a couple of more minutes. We're going to be right back with some BTL action for you all in just a moment. Stay tuned. Glacial Global here. Mingos on the blue side, Global on the red. See what we're starting off with here. Global, they're going for a 5-stack into the bottom side river. Very aggressive look here early on here from the side of Global. We're getting the spectator camera back centered on these players. They moved back out. They were spotted, so they're not going to be able to continue this play. But I like the feistiness coming out here in the first minute already here from the side of Global. In terms of scaling, I'm not really sure if one team has a clear advantage. One team does have Vayne, so that could potentially be pretty significant. But it doesn't really matter how late you get into the Vayne. If you land or late into the game, excuse me, that we do get. If the Vayne does end up getting CC'd, then she is just going to be dead, no matter what level she is. So that is, always a possibility. We are going to be doing cross-map starts for both of these junglers. Looks like Suki on the Jarvan is going to be starting on his red. Snowy Peaks on the Trundle going to be doing the same on his own red, which reminds me, guys, sorry about the confusion towards the end of Champion Select there. They were not in LCS order, or, role order. As it were, there on the side of Globals, but it is, of course, going to be the Sylas in the mid lane, Trundle in the jungle, which is pretty much what we would expect. So nothing too out of the ordinary there. Just press the attack here for Snowy Peaks this game. A little bit more of an early game rune option there. Clark tumbling forward, landing a good amount of damage there onto Zombie Angie on the Soraka. Top lane, going to be a little bit of a resident sleeper here this game. Just a couple of meatballs wailing on each other, auto attacking till the sun goes down, and most likely nobody's gonna be dying up there for quite a while. As Clark tumbling out of the way of that starfall very nicely, not wanting to take any unnecessary damage. We see both junglers, of course, as we would expect, pathing towards opposite sides of the map, considering the fact that they did start on opposite sides. A little bit unusual here for the Jarvan. He's not going quite for a full clear, as he did forego the Krugs, but he is clearing most of his jungle here before looking for any kind of aggressive play. His mid lane is pushing in, so it's going to be very difficult to try and find a play onto the Sylas right now. And of course, Tahm Kench is a little bit of a nightmare to try and deal with as well. But it's going to mean Snowy Peaks getting the first move here. Chains connect onto the Annie. Dogmar in a lot of trouble here. Flash follow from Snowy Peaks. That's the Annie getting first blooded. Snowy Peaks going to be picking up the last hit. A couple of flashes make that one well worth it. And Glacial Global, they're on the board first. Snowy Peaks collapsing up towards the topside river now. Suki going to find himself in a 1v1 against the Trundle. He has a level advantage. Trundle is pretty strong here in the early game. He's got his top laner collapsing as well. But the side of Mingos will be able to back away. They're just losing the one kill for now. Clark is going to take a little bit of damage here. There is the auto-tech Mystic Shot. Clark taking a lot of damage there, down to one hit actually. And this wave is going to crash. This Vayne probably will not be able to collect any of the CS here. Fury is taking a tower shot. Getting a little bit low as well, about 300 HP on the Ezreal. Here comes Suki. He's going to be looking for the play, but both junglers are here. Snowy Peaks is here as well. We'll be seeing a 3v3 down here in bot lane. There's the EQ. Suki just getting himself back over the wall. Not wanting to commit for this play since he knows it would be an even-numbered fight, and his bot lane is definitely on the losing ends of the trades so far. Snowy Peaks is not done down here. Jarvan is backed away, but the Trundle wants to continue to put out some pressure. Looks like it will just be one more wave crash here for the global bot lane into likely a reset. Capitalize on this early lane pressure. Vayne, Clark, he's fine, he's tumbling away. Oh, flash forward, Mystic Shot! Kiri gets a kill, but Jarvan is here for the follow-up. He gets the EQ, Kiri is down, he gets a double kill for Kiri, making the best out of that situation. Kutsuki is able to trade one back. Will it be two? Zombie Angie, he's slowed. There's the EQ coming back off cooldown for Suki. He's going to be able to track down this kill, but no, the flash away from Zombie Angie means he survives. It's going to be 3 for 1 so far here in the early game in favor of Global. They're sitting at a 1k gold lead. We got a 2v1 in the mid lane right now. The fights continue as Dogmar once again in some trouble here. He's already died once, make it twice. 0-2 now on the Annie. Silas able to pick up the kill this time around. The substitution in right now for Mingos. Not looking like it's going super well here. Unfortunately for Dogmar, he is up in CS right now, but just barely. He will be able to catch most of this wave as it crashes here as well. We do have the first dragon currently alive on the map. It's going to be an ocean dragon first off here tonight. Kiri continuing to put out the pressure down here in bot lane. He will apparently just have push down here for the foreseeable future. It was a nice counter gank, counter attack from Suki there, but Kiri already down here in bot lane has been strutting his stuff a little bit, double killing the opposition, as that's the flash away from the EQ. Hub 5 staying alive. He will be able to escape underneath that top lane tier 1 turret. Seeing the Mingos jungler up on the top side gives Snowy Peaks the green light to open up here on the Ocean Dragon. Will likely be able to pick up that first drag with no contest from his opponents. Found the Andrew just rotating over here, helping him to pick that one up. Always love to see that when your laners come through to help out with those objectives. Is very, very important. Even when you don't think there's going to be a contest, it's always better to be safe than sorry, guys. Always remember that over there in solo queue. Just help your jungler out. All right? Doesn't hurt you. I promise. As Dogmar is once again pushing up in mid lane here, but he is completely out of mana. He does have 2 levels up on the Trundle right now, as we're looking at a fight here. There comes the Stand United coming through here, down into bot lane. We're going to have a 3v3 once again. The top laner is joining it. Ezreal is actually the first casualty in this one. Ooh, maybe in a little bit of trouble. But now Silas has joined the play as well. He's getting a kill onto the Alistar. It's 1 for 1 so far. 2 for 1, excuse me, actually. That's 2 members of Global going down. So a lot of summoners committed, but ends up being advantage for the side of Mingos here. It's a very close game still. They were able to close that gold lead. It was 1,000 gold advantage for the Global a little while ago, but that has shrunk to approximately 4,000. So we're looking at a pretty close game here still in the first early minutes. Rift Herald is alive now. We have just crested the 8-minute mark. We'll see if one of these teams decides to go towards that objective in the near future. Both junglers on the bottom side of the map right now. But it seems like mid lane is going to be consistently in favor. Chandler Clark popping the final hour here. Does land a condemn. Fury up against the wall here. He does not have the level 6. Does not have the True Shot of Barrage available. He's getting one more auto attack. Chandler Clark gets his revenge. Picks up his first kill of the game here on the Vayne EQ. Flashed away from Echo, staying alive for now, but it does cost him the Summoner spell. And it looks like a Mingos. They're fighting back here. They're actually able to take the gold lead here for the first time this game. Now Lanier, they want to be 1 against Hub 5, but we know how that one ends. Nobody's dying up there. Although both junglers are in the area, again, Rift Herald is alive. So I might be a liar here, Twitch chat. Hub 5, he's down to 50% HP. Here comes the Cataclysm. The Snowy Peaks flashing in there, forcing Suki to flash out of his own Cataclysm. One more lick will land the stun for Dogmar. While rotating up here, a beautiful Tibbers on a 2. Lands exactly the amount of CC that he needs. And it's going to be 2 more kills going over to Mingos. Did commit the flash there as well. Dogmar on the Annie did commit quite a lot to that play, but well worth it. Able to capitalize very effectively on that aggressive look coming out from Global. Not going to be able to capitalize with a Rift Herald, as there were some pretty low HP bars, and the Tom Catch and the Silas were still alive. Or wait, Silas died, I think. Yeah, it was 2 kills going over to the side of Mingos there. So Tom Kench was still alive. They were pretty low HP bars. They didn't want to go for the Herald just yet. We are looking back down here at bot lane once again. Just throwing out some skill shots. That's exactly how you want to play this lane on the side of the Ezreal Soraka. Just, push your opponents underneath the tower there and throw out those skill shots. Try and get some damage down. They're just trying to collect those minions. And they are not going to be able to fight back very effectively. So, once again, We're just seeing the same thing here. Kiri and Zombie Angie, they're just shoving these waves in. They're just making it as difficult as possible for Clark to farm. Oh, that's a beautiful headbutt pulverized. Gabe going in right now. The Snowy Peaks is here for the gank. Here comes the Tromp onto Kutsuki. And there's the EQ. Now Trundle's in trouble. Snowy Peaks, he's just trying to buy time for his bot lane to get away. He will sacrifice himself for the sins of his Ezreal Soraka. Bot lane will be able to escape with their lives. That is the jungler going down 8-5 now in favor of Mingos. They're up to about a 1.5k gold lead here, 11 minutes in. Suki wrapping around, actually. Zombie Angie is down to about 300 HP on the Soraka, and we've got a two-man dive down here in bot lane. Soraka popping the wish, trying to stay alive, but the Cataclysm, the dub from Suki locks up the kill, and that's going to be the Ezreal going down as well. Double kill for the Mingos jungler, and they're looking to take control here in game number 1. Throwing out the chains there, Lost, and Echo's not going to be able to find him this time around. Suki and Lani maybe in a little bit of a tough spot here right now. They are a little bit sandwiched here in the enemy jungle, trying to turn on the Snowy Peaks, but the stolen Cataclysm means that Lost and Echoes is going to be able to clean up this one. Lani flashed away, staying alive, and there's the Condemn over the wall. Chandler Clark able to help out his top laner there. They're able to get a kill right back, so it ends up both junglers going down here. Lost and Echoes trying to get a cheeky cancel on the recall there from Vayne, but not going to be able to find it. So a bloody fight down there in the bot side does end up being very Mingos favored in the end. I thought maybe Global were going to be able to find a couple of kills on those members who were trapped in the enemy jungle. But the bot lane stuck around. They rotated back up, helped out the rest of their team. They were able to make that very positive trade for the side of Mingos. Ezreal Soraka continue to push in. They are not phased by these last couple of aggressive looks that they have fallen victim to. And look at this. We are seeing the second dragon of the game is now the target for the side of Mingos. That's a pulverize. Oh, Soraka is just dead. She has no way out of this one. Kiri's gonna try to flash away, but the Cataclysm is back off cooldown. And this Ezreal Soraka, they just pushed forward a little bit too aggressively with no vision. They did not know where Jarvan and Alistar were, and they were heavily punished for it, going down once again. That's the 5th death of the game for Kiri here on this Ezreal. He started out strong with that double kill there in the first few minutes, but ever since then, he's not been able to keep himself safe. He has gone down many, many times here to the side of Mingos. Kutsuki not able to find it this time. They want to get the headbutt off, of course, before going for the pulverize there, but Silas able to dash out of range. Up 5. He could dive abyssally onto Dogmar, but again, will not find the mark here just yet. As we are seeing Snowy Peaks finally target this Rift Herald, but only 20 seconds left on the turret place. I do not think he's going to have time to get the cash in from this one. So let's see if he can prove me wrong. He's down to 15 seconds. He's going to have to drop it immediately here. He is running straight up towards top lane. That is the enemy jungler. Or the top and mid, actually, are the ones in the area for this one. The Herald is not going to be able to get the charge off in time here, guys. They might be able to get first turret gold still here, as Lanier is still trying to defend this one. There's the charge, there's the first turret going down, and there's the dive. Lanier, you stuck around a little bit too long, my friend. He's taunting, he's going down. Dogmar teleporting back in here, throws up the timbers, gets the stun on 2. That's a kill on to 1, but he's got the acquired taste stacked up on him. One more lick. Oh, the minion blocked it. Can Dogmar get away? He's got another stun, double kill for the Mingos mid laner, able to outplay the Catfish in top lane there. Shot barrage coming out. Daniel Clark, one hit from dead. He's going down. Lost in Echoes. Picks up another one down here. Alistar with the ultimate is able to escape underneath the bot lane tier 1 with his life, but good rotation down there from Lost in Echoes. He's able to pick up his 4th of the game, 4-1-1 now on the Silas. Very nice there from the global mid laner. I was a little bit worried when I realized that they did not have Neversaw on the Rift tonight, but Lost in Echoes is proving to be more than adequate to the task at hand so far. Let's see how the game continues, as Dogmar also sitting on 4 kills right now and quite a significant bounty for himself. So mid lane is proving to be an important arena, as Lost in Echoes is shut down right as I was singing his praises. He ends up falling victim to a multi-man play coming out from Mingos here in mid lane. As that's a nice taunt from Lanier. He's trying to set this one up for Clark, who's tumbling forward. 2 stacks already on the silver bullets, but Lanier, his top laner, is getting extremely low, tumbling forward. Vayne gets the kill. Clark is looking for more now, but the teleport behind him. Hub 5 to try and turn this play around. He knows Jen is low HP. Lanier may be in a little bit of trouble here, but Hub 5, there's too much crowd control. He can't even get off the thick skin. It's going to be 2 kills. Going over to Clark. Vayne now 6-2. He's absolutely in a position to carry this one for his team. Marvin sitting on 6 kills as well. A lot of these Mingos players popping off pretty heavily here in game number 1. They're able to answer back down here with the bot lane tier 1 to counteract the top lane tier 1 that was taken with the Rift Herald just a short while ago. We got a 1v1 in mid lane now. Lost in Echoes. He's victim to the Tibbers, but he has the shields, the heals. But Stand United is enough to keep Dogmar alive. No, the stolen Tibbers. Tibbers betrays his master, and Annie will be going down here. That is a kill over to Lost in Echoes. Now he's able to pull ahead the mid lane opposition. Clark now pushing forward aggressively into the enemy jungler with the assistance of his support and jungler. Suki going for the EQ here. Can't quite find it, but does get the flash out of Zombie Angie's Soraka there. No flash for the global support here for the next few minutes. Definitely an exciting game so far here, folks, but it definitely does seem to be Mingos that is pulling ahead right now. They do have about a 3,000 gold lead as we have the fight breaking out once again in mid lane. Tom Kench, once again, cannot get off the thick skin. Snowy Peaks flashing out of the Cataclysm now. He's able to survive, keep himself alive with the help of the Subjugate there. Getting just enough healing from his ultimate to stay alive. Lost in Echoes just trying to clear out this minion wave right now, trying to protect this tier 1 turret, but they're not going to be able to do it. It does go down. Candler able to claim some more local gold for himself. We're going to have Dragon number 3 spawning in just 40 seconds. So, likely going to see some resets coming through now for the side of Mingos. They're going to try and set up for this objective. We do see now Alistar and Vayne. They have gone to the base, and now they're coming back out onto the map. They have Jarvan in tow as well. We're going to be trying to set up now in this bot side river. Trundle is in the area, but he has no vision control to speak of. The side of Glacial Global, they're going to be hard pressed to try and contest this one. I think they're probably going to be pretty okay just giving it away, as Gabe is looking for a play here. Head up Pulverize onto Snowy Peaks, and Vayne, Annie, is here for the follow-up. Snowy Peaks barely getting out with 100 HP, and there's the Soraka heals keeping him alive. Now Suki looking forward, continuing to press forward, looking for more, and now Vayne is here in the mid lane, laying the damage into Hub 5. 2-shot barrage over the top, cannot find the targets he is looking for. Continuing to dish out the DPS here in this skirmish, and he's going to be able to push Hub 5 away. Hub 5 does not have access to the teleport right now, since he will not easily be able to rejoin his team. They will almost certainly give up this next dragon here. Try and scale up a little bit more. Try and put themselves in a position where they're going to be more likely win these fights further on into the game here. It is going to be the Cloud Soul here, of course. That was the first Cloud Dragon picked up by the side of Mingos. As we are seeing a little bit of an engage here. Suki EQ over the wall. Kiri, no mana. Forced to use the flash. Cannot have the Arcane Shift. He doesn't have any mana for it. He does try and get over the wall, but he doesn't have the range. He's picked up by Chandler, and Snowy Peaks going to be going down here as well. Double kill for the Vayne. I said she was in a position to carry, and my god, is she doing it. That's a taunt on a Hub 5 now. That's Clark looking for more. He's looking for the triple kill. He will have it. 9-2 on the Vayne. Clark's absolutely popping off here in game number 1, folks. 0-5, Hub 5 on the Tom Kench. It's appropriate for a summoner name, but certainly not the kind of performance that he really wanted to have here tonight. Probably would have preferred to be 5-0. But, you know, this is the situation that we have found ourselves in. It's going to be Baron started up here on spawn by Mingos. They have no fear right now. Vayne on 2 items. Mark is saying, guys, let's just take this. It's free. They can't fight us. If they show up, I'll just kill them all. And looks like there will be no contest. I don't think Global saw this one coming. I sure wouldn't have. That's going to be buried for Mingos in 20 minutes. They're looking to put a nail in this one sooner rather than later. Take a look at the CS here. We're relatively even across the board. It is a slightly... Oh, well, I am just going to go ahead and shut up now, guys, because we did just have a surrender, a forfeit coming through here for the side of Global. They did not want to play it out. You know, I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, it is possible to shut down Vayne. Even if you do get into later portions of the game, there's a little bit of crowd control. You know, the champion has very, very little in the way of innate defenses, but you know, Global, they didn't want to mess around with it. They just wanted to try and preserve the mental, perhaps, as they head into game number 2 here. But they will have to win the next 2 in a row. They want to come out in the match here tonight. It's definitely going to be a tall order, going to be a tough task facing the side of Global. But you know, on the flip side, Global Glacial, Glacial. My brain stopped working for a second. Bear with me, guys. Glacial Mingos. They're feeling pretty solid about how that first game went, and you know, they're just probably going to try and rinse and repeat as much of that as they are allowed to, and try and get a quick 2-0 dub here tonight. So we'll see what does end up coming through here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are going to be throwing here to a quick break once again between the games, as the teams likely need a couple of minutes to recoup, discuss some strategy as they head here into the next game. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have some more BTL action very soon.